sont dits à tout.
What's going on, jerk faces? It's your boy Andy, and you're watching Nocturnal Transmissions, brought to you by the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's a conversation you could be having during the day, but having at night. Yes, you are not seeing things. You are not having some really excellent weed. We are actually starting somewhat on time today.
You're not in the Twilight Zone.
Huh?
You're not in the Twilight Zone.
Yes, you're not on Twilight Zone. You're not having a weird trip. We are on time today, so enjoy. With me, as always, co-host, co-pilot in this thing is the homeboy Rob.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, let's get this conversation started. So, Rob, what is new with you?
You know, not too much. Just I've been, as always, just working a lot. Just kind of doing all that. I finally got a chance to go back to bowling again with my league.
Oh, that's right. You're a bowler.
Yeah. So I got a chance to get caught up on bowling this past week. I'm looking forward to kind of trying to be there more often. Sometimes I get my schedule gets messed up, so I don't get to make it in on time or make it to bowling. So I did that this week. Did pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
We smashed the team that we were playing, so that was good.
I forget, what was your team's name again?
We every season we kind of change it up. This season's theme is old wrestlers. So our team name is WrestleMania. I'm the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Daniel, he's Andre the Giant.
Nice.
Who's Daryl? Daryl is I forget who he is right now.
Roddy Piper.
Yes, yeah. Roddy Piper. You're right.
Really? Why did I know? Why did I know that Daniel would pick that? Why? How did I know that? How did I know that?
And then we have our other guy. He's Vince McMahon.
Oh, okay. Yes, for our younger viewers, what is it? Go online and type in Princess Bride and Andre the Giant, and then Macho Man Randy Savage and what was it? Slim Jim.
Yeah.
Yes.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Snap into a Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'll thank me later. But man, oh man, I remember I used to love wrestling back in the day.
It was awesome. Still kind of it still is a bit. It's kind of like that. It's a soap opera for guys.
That's exactly what it is. It's a soap opera for guys. There's a storyline. There was betrayal. There was shifting loyalties. It was actually it was a soap opera for men.
Yeah, it's awesome. We know it. Yes, it is scripted. We know it's not real, but we still enjoy it anyways. And it's kind of screw Booker T, and it's kind of
the Bush what was it? The Bushwhack twins are totally gonna kick ass, and
yeah, exactly. But it's fun. It's good.
It's just dumb, kind of stupid fun. We know that it's all staged, and there's a scripted winner and all that stuff, but it's an escape. That's what it is. It's an escape.
Absolutely.
It's a thing to get our minds off of work or the kind of drudgery of everyday life, and men, we're completely aware that it's not that at least the formerly WWF, now WWE. It's all kind of scripted entertainment, but it didn't matter. It
Yeah.
didn't matter because it was just a way for us to decompress or just enjoy our. I remember, yeah, because it was like a way to enjoy a Saturday afternoon. Because I remember wrestling came on like right after Saturday morning cartoons. Before
Yep.
before they try to try to make things educational. Because now like I don't watch much broadcast TV anymore. But recently I caught a little bit of it, and like all these like nature shows and like these kind of like this educational programming. And just like, man, I feel so bad for kids nowadays because they'll never know the joy of waking up at the crack of dawn on Saturday morning, pouring yourself a big bowl of sugary cereal and plopping down in front of the TV and just, shutting your brain off for about 4 hours.
Oh yeah, it was the best.
It's like this. It's just like that simple joy. That simple joy, and I believe it was sometime recently, but I think it was like, oh jeez, was it like 4 years ago that they broadcast the last Saturday morning cartoon?
That's a sad day.
Yeah, right.
What were some of your favorites growing up?
Ninja Turtles, of course. Wait. Are we talking about pure American Saturday morning cartoons? Or are we talking about like kind of like the umbrella where even if it played like during the week, it would still be counted as a Saturday morning cartoon?
Well, I'm just saying, like, what were like your go-to ones that you always really enjoyed?
Okay, then yeah, Ninja Turtles. What else was there? Goddamn, man, don't tell me I'm that old that I can't even remember. Um, God, there are so many. Um, a lot of stuff on ABC. I remember. Um, I guess I can only really go by like networks or like channels. Um, but yeah, Saturday mornings. Yeah, like ABC. I think ABC was like the strongest one. Um,
Yeah, because they had all the Disney cartoons.
yeah, because they have the Disney cartoons and but yeah, I guess Fox too. Fox. Yeah, because Fox had a really good, decent lineup because they had like some of the Marvel properties. They had Spider-Man and X-Men, and so
Yeah.
yeah, and what was it? KTLA was pretty cool. Oh yeah, they had Fantastic Four. I love that cartoon. Um, yeah, It's just hard to pin down like my favorite Saturday morning cartoon because it's like flipping through like mad like to like different stations like, oh, this is on, and then like oh, commercialized, so I go check the other one and it's like, oh, this is on, and so
Yeah. But yeah, like Ninja Turtles, like I think that's anyone from like our generation, like that's like one of
yeah,
the top ones.
or I mean maybe like even like a little bit earlier, like G.I. Joe and Thundercats.
I was gonna say like like Transformers was one.
Yeah. The Generation 1 Transformers.
Yeah, I also watched. I really liked. Maybe not as like it's not as popular, but I really liked it. The descendant of Transformers, like the like Beast Wars. I actually really enjoyed
that was like
a
the
lot.
first completely computer generated cartoon for television.
Yeah, I think that was definitely one of the first.
Yeah, and I mean,
it was
I don't know, like I kind of want to go back and watch. It was a really good cartoon. Like it had like a really good story, and there's a lot of good like development of the
Yeah.
characters. Just really saw. I mean, yeah, I was like, it was funny because I was actually watching a few YouTube videos talking about like the kind of the glory days, of the late '80s to '90s Saturday morning cartoons, just or just like cartoons in general, and I I this may be completely biased, but I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, it was Beast Wars was one of those that I have like so many. I have a lot of those toys still.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like because I think it only ran for I want to say like 3 or 4 seasons,
I
and
think
season
Yeah, I think specifically like proper Beast Wars, it lasted I think 3 seasons, 2 or 3 seasons,
right,
and then there was the follow up, Beast
which was another
Machines,
like two
that
or
lasted for
three.
like
Yeah,
maybe like another season, or for 1 season or 2 seasons. It didn't last long.
I think it was like 2.5 seasons because I have all the DVDs of that. So
Okay.
um, yeah, season is like the first season of Beast Wars was it's good. It's like nothing like yeah, it was kind of like character development and all that stuff like
Mhm.
that. But season 2 is where it really took off. Like it was actually
Right.
it's a very dark series, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it was. It was. I think there's a bunch of deaths in that season.
Yeah, and it was kind of like some of them were kind of like sad deaths.
Yeah. Right.
Um, but yeah, it was, and like even like season 3, and there was some other deaths that happened too, where it's like, man, it was kind of like very tragic.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then even like Beast Machines, which was even less popular than Beast
Mhm.
Wars, but I actually thought it had like a really good story to it, and they finally like made it back to Cybertron,
Mhm.
and they got coming back from that like time warp, whatever, and everything was messed up on Cybertron. So it was very interesting how it played out, and there was a lot of betrayal and confusion and all sorts of interesting concepts that I liked how it turned out.
No, yeah, it was a definitely underappreciated cartoon, and um, I think it was a pretty solid follow up to Beast Wars. Because I think it was like kind of I think they were integrating, well, they're still like polishing up the computer graphics for the
Hmm.
animation, and I think like from where they were at Beast Wars to where they kept it or tried to keep it going in Beast Machines. I think they did a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, another one of my well, not just Saturday morning cartoons, but just cartoons from the '90s was Gargoyles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Right. And that was really really good, and it was very mature for supposedly just a children's cartoon.
Yeah, it was.
Like very very dark. Again, like a lot of betrayal, a lot of you know, and I think there were some deaths.
That's one that like I actually kind of want to go back and like kind of watch that a little bit just
Yeah. Well,
because
yeah, and there
yeah.
was. I mean, I wouldn't agree with it now as an adult, but they did have that one gun control episode where one of the because one of the gargoyles go watches a western, and he comes uh, fascinated with guns, and then he finds what's it that policewoman's their friend, her gun, and he's like kind of messing around with it, and accidentally goes off, and wouldn't you know, he shoots the friend, and she might become paralyzed, and then that gargoyle goes on a quest to stop all gun crime.
Oh Lord,
Yeah,
I don't remember that episode.
yeah. I mean, I don't like. I remember I've read some stuff on it, and I've seen like some videos like critiquing it, and I think at the time the overall message was a good one because it wasn't
Stop
necessarily
guns.
anti-gun, but it was definitely like it was definitely be aware. If
Yeah,
I yeah
exactly.
if I'm to kind of fairly critique if I'm to fairly critique it and like look back on it now, then I would say they weren't like I wouldn't necessarily I couldn't say that they were like beating you over the head saying guns are bad, but just like guns are dangerous.
That's true.
Yeah, so I think in that case I think they were very fair.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Gargoyles was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
God, and what was it? There was yeah, like some of those like the Fox cartoons. I liked Spider-Man a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch Mega Man.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
there was like
Wait,
Garfield
was
and
that a Japanese
Friends.
cartoon dubbed, or was it actually like a product of an American animation company? I can never tell.
I I want I don't know. I think that one was. I don't think it was like an anime that was dubbed.
Hmm.
I think that was an actual like American like cartoon.
Hmm.
I could be wrong though. I'd probably get some people that are shouting. It's like, no, man, it was. Yeah. But I don't remember that like being like you look at something like Pokemon and it's like clearly that it's like it's not an American
Yeah, because
cartoon.
there's a lot of cultural cultural Japanese things that
Yeah, this one
that
didn't feel like that.
just barely you can make barely fit into the an American context.
Yeah, this
So
didn't feel like that was in that category.
right.
But like Garfield and Friends, that was another one that I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, how could it? Oh well, that didn't play on Saturday mornings. But I remember before heading off to school, like early in the morning, they would play it on or at least in Southern California, Los Angeles area, Channel 13. They would play it just like at 7 o'clock or 7:30, and I'd watch it just before I head out the door to go to school when I was in elementary school. And those are always good. I
Yeah,
love that, and I love like the Barnyard Friends
yeah.
cartoons as well.
I Oh God, who was the duck? Like his like life preserver also had like a face, like his face on it, which would
Uh-huh.
also
Yeah,
change
yeah, and it
and
also
his.
I think we talked about this before. It's like and then it mimicked like whatever his expression was, like the little duck on the flotation device would mimic the duck's face.
Yeah, really
Which I
hilarious.
thought like that's kind of weird.
Yeah. It is very weird.
Oh,
The
speaking of cartoons, I don't know. Have you been watching Star Wars Rebels?
I have not. I haven't watched any of it to be honest.
Uh,
I wanna go and watch it though.
Highly recommend. Even Clone Wars because it was by the same guy that does Rebels.
Hmm.
Yeah, but really good.
No,
Yeah.
I watched Clone Wars.
Okay. Yeah, but Rebels is done by the same guy that did Clone Wars, Dave Filoni, and yeah, it was pretty good. Um, I think he did, and it was actually the series finale yesterday, and I
Oh,
think
was it?
and I think they wrapped it up really well. Yeah,
Oh, I'll
not
have to check it out then.
and they did it in a way where it didn't conflict with the original trilogy, and it's still it still paid respect to it and all that other stuff. And it's actually kind of funny because there's some rumbling within the Star Wars fandom that Dave Filoni should be in charge of creative, and Kathleen Kennedy should be shifted to the business side.
I think that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you've seen Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Clone
right. And
Wars.
I mean that's the same guy that's done Rebels, and he's proven himself, and he's proven that he understands the mythology, he understands the story.
He
He
cares about the
yeah,
story.
he's demonstrated that he understands the characters. Fun.
Yeah.
And I think, what is it? He worked under, not necessarily worked under, but kind of George Lucas kind of mentored him, when he was making the Clone Wars. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, he's demonstrated the ability, and he has uh, the necessary pedigree to handle the creative directing for Lucasfilm. And I mean,
I think so.
I mean, I might not agree with a lot of Kathleen Kennedy's politics or whatever, but you had your chance. You kind of shit the bed. So be woman enough to realize that you, that you don't have the talent, or you don't have the chops to handle creative for Lucasfilm. You know.
Yeah,
If
maybe.
Because I'm sure, like, if it was some inept like male, like they'd be calling for his, like, removal or whatever. It's like, oh, step down, or I'm sure, like, if it was God, let's say it was Ryan Johnson, right, and he was like head of Lucasfilm, I would just be as vocal for him to be
God
removed.
help us all.
Yeah, I'd be as vocal for him to be removed as I am for removing Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh yeah, it's not a man or woman thing. It's just like
It's purely merit driven. Because Dave Filoni, he has proven himself with Clone Wars and with Rebels that he gets it. He understands these characters. He understands the mythology. He understands the universe. That George Lucas, and he demonstrated it in the works that he produced, Clone Wars and Rebels.
right.
So
Yeah, that'd be nice.
like we're always we're always coming back to Star Wars,
I think
but it's still kind of a relevant topic. It's still kind of a relevant topic.
True.
Especially since
true.
like, what was that?
No, I was saying it's true. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, especially recently when because J.J. Abrams like came out with like that interview. I forget what, like Gizmodo or something, where he's kind of shitting on the fans, saying that, oh, basically, if you don't like Rey, then you're a misogynist.
Oh God, never mind. Well, there we go.
Yeah. So, here's what it is. If J.J. Abrams said, if you didn't like The Last Jedi, it's because you're threatened by strong women.
No, I just hate like terrible stories.
Yeah, I just hate OP for no reason characters.
Yeah.
I wasn't threatened by Leia. In the original trilogy, she was an outspoken woman. She was a leader in the rebellion, but I wasn't threatened by her. I actually respected her.
Exactly.
Because she didn't take shit. And she was able, like that scene, like the scene in when they were going to the detention cell to rescue her, and she kind of took charge and like blasted a hole in the grate, and like to get them out of the cell block. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah. It's like I'll rescue myself.
I know. It's like, and it wasn't like one of those like rah feminist things. It was just like these guys clearly didn't have a plan, so I'm gonna kind of step in and like help myself.
Exactly,
Right?
and
And I mean,
it was a great scene. It's funny.
What was it?
I was saying it's a great scene and it was hilarious.
Yeah, and it's just like like if I'm sure if a guy was in that same situation and like the rescuers like had you pinned down like with only one way out, I think a guy would have the similar reaction and take matters into his own hands.
Yeah, and the other thing that was great about that too, and it wasn't something where it was making like men look stupid or demeaning them, but it was just a great like funny scene where it's like they're all just like looking for a way out, and it's like Leia's like, well, if you guys can't think of anything, and let's try this.
Right, and she had that great line. I was like, well, somebody has to save our skins.
Yeah.
Because they basically got pinned into a corner. And then they got in. Then there was the trash compactor scene, and then everyone was screwed. But then if you notice, Han actually helps Leia try to get above, get higher up onto the trash to help save her. And and it's not like she said, it's like, no, I'm gonna die with the. I was like, I'm gonna die with you guys down here.
Yeah, exactly. But
it was, and I think Leia was great because she showed strength, but then she also was kind of maternal because after they made their escape, she was the one to console Luke.
Yeah,
because he was after the escape, after the adrenaline of them trying to escape, I think the death of Obi-Wan, finally hit him, and he was, and he had that moment, and Leia was the one to come over and try to comfort him, which I think speaks to the maternal nature in women, and again, and again, it's not, and I'm not saying that to demean or condescend, but it's just.
Yeah, no, I hear exactly what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so the thought of the reason, the thought of, to even have the thought that I didn't like The Last Jedi because I'm threatened by a strong female character is just asinine.
It's well, that's kind of like the message with Hollywood now, where it's like if you don't like some of certain movies, it's because you have some sort of aversion, like, oh, you don't like gay people, you don't like women, or you don't like whatever, and it's like, no, I don't like it because it's a shitty movie.
Yeah, maybe it's just a crappy movie.
Yeah, or it's like I don't care for these type of messages. It's kind of
yeah. Oh, hilarious thing that I just that someone I forget. I was watching a lot of commentary videos on YouTube, and they were saying how hilarious it was that this movie called Call Me by Your Name.
Oh Lord!
Which is basically a gay love story, but it's between a 17-year-old kid and a grown adult, probably in their 20s.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then a bunch of people pointed it out. It's like, I can't believe that this movie got nominated in the climate that we're in right now, especially with the whole Kevin Spacey thing.
Oh no, but it's different. It's totally different from that. Yes. As I roll my eyes, that doesn't make any sense.
It's like, no, but this is different. It's like, Yeah, it's like, is this or is it not glorifying a relationship between uh, a young adult and a much older man.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so, and I'm not saying that like what he did is right because it's like it's kind of gross, but it's so Kevin Spacey gets fired for this, but a movie glorifying that type of relationship is just a-okay.
Right.
It's like, yeah, it's a movie that I would have zero interest in. Yeah, it's just like one of those movies where it's like, if you don't like this, then you hate gay people. It's like, no, I think it's a terrible movie that I don't want to watch.
Right, and it's like also like, yeah, and like the messaging is just like, it's completely the do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, that and the other fact, like, because they're passing it off as like kind of like a romance movie or whatever, which for me, like, I don't really care for that genre, so I wouldn't watch it anyways, even if I was into like, gay. It's like, if I was totally into that, it's like, yeah, it's like, no, not. I'm good. I don't really like romance films.
So what, Robbie? You're saying you're not into butt stuff?
Well, I've never been into butt stuff, but yeah.
But yeah, because like, yeah, because I'm really having a hard time wrapping my head around this because they're saying like, oh, Kevin Spacey, trying to molest or initiate a relationship with a young man, gross. But we're gonna promote this movie about basically the same thing, and we want everyone to see it. It's just
yeah,
like, it's just like square peg, round hole. It's like,
yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Completely. Jeez.
But yeah, I didn't watch a lot of the Oscars. I did watch the Steven Crowder stream of that for part of it. That was that was definitely much more enjoyable than the actual Oscars, which as I'm listening to like some people's like, I'm just like rolling my eyes like, oh, good Lord. But I thought it was kind of like there was something that with like Jordan Peele winning for Get Out. I thought that was a deserved.
Yeah, at least for screenplays, I agree with that, but not for Best Picture.
Yeah. No. It's not a Best Picture, but it's it's a good story. And, good for him. And his acceptance speech wasn't like it was a good one. It was kind of. I think they were expecting him to say something that like didn't. He's like that he didn't end up saying. And
right. He didn't go all social justice warrior on him.
And I don't think he's that type of guy, anyways. I think he just enjoys.
Because I caught Crowder's live stream too, and he was saying, you know what it probably was. Jordan Peele might not necessarily feel the way that people were promoting his movie, but he saw this as an opportunity to get an Oscar, or if not win an Oscar, but at least be nominated for an Oscar.
I don't blame him for doing that.
Right. I wouldn't either, because what's a greater thing than to put on your resume, Oscar nominated, writer, Oscar nominated, director, Oscar nominated. The nomination is almost as good as getting the award.
Yeah, now they can't take that award away from him, so it's kind of
it's like no takesy backsies.
Yeah, and it was Gary Oldman won for like best actor. I think it was.
Yeah, for Darkest Hour, he was good. He was really good in that.
Yeah, that's I haven't seen that movie, but I definitely want to see it because I heard he's really good in it, and it's a pretty decent film.
Yeah, I saw it. It was good. Go watch it.
Winston Churchill is actually a very fascinating guy to begin with. So
yeah,
it'd be
yeah. I mean, there's some stuff I recently learned about him. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
So that might be definitely something to watch, and I like his Gary Oldman's acceptance speech was not met with much applause.
Right? No, it must have been that. It must have been that that thing he said about Nancy Pelosi.
I did not hear what he said about her.
It's funny because he didn't necessarily say what he's being accused of saying. But it's more in the vein of if I had said this, if
Oh,
I
so
said
he's going all
if I
O.J.
said this,
Simpson?
if I what?
What is he going all O.J. Simpson? Well, if I said it,
A little bit, but it's just like oh, if put in progressive celebrity here said this, you guys wouldn't bat an eyelash at it. But if I said it, then you give me holy hell.
Right.
Essentially, yeah. Because what was it? Because he said that if I said that Nancy Pelosi was good for nothing. And then he kind of stopped himself. He's like, no, I'll take it one more further. If I said she was a part of a woman's anatomy, effing. Oh God, I lost my train of thought.
You're getting old, Andy.
I know. God dang! Don't get old, kids. Don't get old.
Don't trust anyone over 30.
Yeah. If I called Nancy Pelosi a fucking good for nothing, and he stopped himself and said, no, if she was a good for nothing part of a female's anatomy, good for nothing, then you'd be down my throat.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny because I couldn't find the actual article, but I there was all these kind of articles about the article.
I see. I might have to look that up.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? If I read the actual article, I might have been against Gary Oldman. Not likely, but I would like to have actually read the actual article and not have to read someone else's opinion about the article.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, but he's quite the actor. I really enjoy his work.
Oh yeah, pretty much everything he's done, I have enjoyed. Yeah. Even when he played I know he hates it, but I really liked him as Zorg from The Fifth Element.
Oh yeah, I thought he was great in that.
Yeah, totally great.
Yeah, he's yeah, that was a good one. And then even his portrayal was in the Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh god. Yeah.
That was one of the
dude, and you had two heavyweight English actors in that movie. You had him and you had Anthony Hopkins.
I know, and it was still it was just to think that that movie how awful it would have been without those guys there? Because it's not a it's you think of how awful that movie would have been without those two guys there, because it's not a good movie.
Yeah, it's like driver, how much further to the castle?
Yeah, it's like kind of like back in the day with like the Hammer Dracula films. You had like a couple other heavyweights, and Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Those were two big heavyweights, and it's kind of the same with that one. It's just, man, it just didn't work.
Yeah, it really didn't. Yeah.
Which is sad because the actual Bram Stoker's Dracula is actually a very good like novel.
Right.
And I just wish it.
Yeah, I just wish the movie had lived up to the novel.
Yeah.
And wasn't what's her face in it too? The Klepto. Blanking on the name.
Oh, shoot. Yes. Yeah, that was her in it too, and I can't think of her name right now either. God, I'm getting old, does it?
Good.
She was
Winona
in the
Ryder.
Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Yeah.
Winona Ryder. Well, she wasn't in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise.
Cool. Wasn't that her?
What?
Maybe I'm getting her mixed up with somebody then.
Are you confusing Winona Ryder with Keira Knightley?
No.
You sure?
Maybe I am. I don't know.
Because 100%, Winona Ryder was not in the Pirates franchise.
Maybe I am. No, I'm. Shoot. I don't know. Maybe I guess I was. I'm an idiot then.
I guess so. What's in that Arizona iced tea?
I know, right?
Got a little some of that, got a little some of Grandpa's old cough medicine?
Yeah, right.
Feeling a little boozing, huh? Feeling a little boozing?
Maybe.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Oscars went on forever. It just kept going. It was like how long?
Yeah, it was like almost 3 hours long.
It was 4. It was
4 hours?
It was 4 hours.
What?
Yeah, I felt like, because I wasn't watching it, but I would come in and out, and I was like, holy shit, this is still going on, for God's sakes.
Wait, what time did it start?
I think it started at I don't know, 5 or so.
Oh my god. That means on the East Coast it ran up in past midnight.
Yeah, it was 11 or it was somewhere between 11 and night when it finally finished. Lord.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, if it started at West Coast time, if it started at 5, that means it started at 8 on the East Coast, and then plus 4 hours. Yeah, that's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it was a long. It was terrible. Too long.
I know. God, how... I don't see it, yeah, and that stupid bit where they went across the street or whatever to surprise the fans at this viewing for some movie at the Chinese theater.
Yeah.
God, that ate up so much time.
It did, and I don't know, man. I remember a time when Jimmy Kimmel was actually funny.
Vaguely.
Yeah, like I remember like when he was like host of the Man Show. Like he
Yeah.
was
No, that was another point that someone brought up. It's like, how the hell are you like, and like, cause Jimmy made that stupid joke at the beginning in his monologue about how Oscar is the perfect man because he keeps his
he
hands
has
where
no
you can see
penis.
them. He doesn't say anything offensive, and he has no penis.
It's
I was
like,
like,
good God.
you were on a show. You were on this program called The Man Show, where all you did was sexually objectify women.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's say, hey, like people can change and all that stuff, but it's
Yeah.
just to me, it just seems like one of those things where I think he espouses a lot of these beliefs because that's what I don't know if he actually believes in it or if like he's just kind of he wants to keep the whatever ratings he does have, so he just kind of
Well, because he
espouses.
doesn't give shit about right-leaning or conservative viewers. Because he in that
So
interview.
I assume that he does fall in that like kind of thinking.
Well, I mean, I can only judge him for what he said, and in an interview with 60 minutes. Oh, goddamn, I wish it was 60 seconds. But yeah, on 60 Minutes, he basically said like, oh, I don't care if right-leaning or conservative viewers stop watching my show. I wouldn't want them to watch it anyways. And just like, okay, that is maybe it's not half, but it is a good portion of the country that you are telling to screw off.
Pretty much.
Right? And so whatever next project you do have, I mean, I don't know if he's ever gonna get into movies or whatever, or maybe he's like, I got my late night show, I'm gonna do this forever. I'll just keep hosting Oscars, you know, and
Yeah,
I'll be good.
he's
But like with that kind of attitude, he'll never be able to do anything uh,
else.
else ever again. Because
Yeah.
he'll never be able to do like if he ever got back into doing like stand up and like doing shows like that. He can never book a place in middle America like flyover country
Yeah, no, it never happened.
because it's like, oh well, because like he'll like one of his people will call him like, oh yeah, Jimmy Kimmel would like to do a show in your town or whatever. It's like, is that the same Jimmy Kimmel that said I can go screw off?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry to use is it hillbilly? It's more hillbilly than southern. I'm sorry to use that hillbilly accent. No offense to people in the middle of the country.
Yep.
But yeah, he'll never. Yeah. But
Yeah, man, he has become so like he's just not funny
he's not
anymore.
and it's interesting because how many writers did he have for the Oscars like and it wasn't even funny, but it's like they probably thought like one of their best bits was when he goes and tries to work the crowd. It's like, oh, where are you from? Where are you from? And he goes to Steven Spielberg and asks him if he has pot on him.
Yeah,
I was just
it's
like,
like
oh, that's not funny.
it's not. It's just not. Oh,
And like,
but
I'm
yeah.
sure
So yeah, it was.
he had an army of writers. He had an army of writers, and it still sucked, and it still wasn't funny.
Yeah, just not good.
Oh God, I
But
swear.
yeah, it was just man, it was Endurathon.
Yeah, it was like 4 hours. God, how self-important do you think you? How self-important are you to yourselves?
Like it's one thing where like hey if it's kind of like one of those like private parties or whatever, yeah, like go as long as you want, who cares, like but when it's supposed to be like this, televised thing or whatever, it's like, or at least, I don't know, like it just drags on and on and on, and
it's funny because Crowder pointed this out. The people that got awards for like sound design or the actually like working class within Hollywood, they had the shortest speeches. It's like, thank you for this award, thanks mom, thanks dad, thanks thank you spouse.
right.
And I'm talking like the working class. So like so sound effects, um, digital effects, um,
Like production and all,
production, all that stuff is just like it's just like hey Academy, thanks for recognizing my work. Thanks. Again, thanks mom and dad. Thanks honey. Like good night, and then they were off. They're they had the shortest speeches, but the big names or even freaking makeup design, like they had to go off and virtue signal. It's like, oh yeah, it's like we are the dreamers and da 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 da. It's like,
oh Lord.
It's like nobody cares. You make people into fish people.
Yeah, God. I didn't see that movie either. It just seemed
I saw it. I saw it. I thought it was a competent movie. They everything, the production design, the way it was filmed, all that was good. But I don't know how I feel about this movie.
It just seemed like too weird of a premise for me.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to spoilers because I just kind of have to talk about this. What was it? So if you don't know, The Shape of Water, there's this character, this woman who's mute, and then she kind of forms this connection with this amphibious half man half fish creature, and
Merman, Dad. Merman.
Yeah, exactly. Merman. Merman. But yeah, so there's like this connection, and she teaches the creature to sign, and she breaks it out of the research facility that she works at as a janitor, and then I guess they bump gills.
Eesh, that just
and it's funny because they try to flout this idea of like intelligence for this creature, but to me it didn't seem like that at all. It seemed like someone taking advantage of a gorilla. If that makes sense.
That's kind of like where I was gonna head with that.
A gorilla can sign, but
and they have an intelligence to a degree.
What was that? Yeah, exactly. And the intelligence is it's. I'm not saying a gorilla's stupid, but it's not on the same level as a human being.
Right.
I don't know. It might be like and so like the creature was able to mimic the signs that the main character taught it, but to say that it was like it had like intelligence, I don't know, and it just felt like it
What is this? Creature from the Black Lagoon porn or something?
Something like that, yeah. And so I'm a little and in that way, yeah, I'm a little conflicted. Because it's like, I mean, all the technical stuff, I think it was great. It was kind of great. Great score, great cinematography, great production design. But it's like,
but the story was just
it's a person having sex with a fish person, and not not necessarily an intelligent one either.
Yeah, right. So it was. Who is she? Troy McClure.
Yes, we Star Wars and Simpsons references are a hallmark of our show.
Well, yeah, it
just so you know, yeah, Star Wars and Simpsons references are. We can't have a show without either one. There always has to be at least one.
And just so you know, like in real life, I consistently quote The Simpsons, and
right?
just about. I think I found like about every life situation that I encounter, it's like it's a nod to The Simpsons.
Right? It's like, oh, should I have one more drink? It's like, and you just think to alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
All of life's problems. It's so very true.
It's like let's find out. But yeah. So Shape of Water, I don't know.
Is it worth watching at least once?
Maybe for all the technical stuff, maybe. But in terms of story, it's just like, oh, not so much.
So like if I watch it,
another curious thing is they turn. Okay, another spoiler. But there's at this research facility that the main character works at. There's someone who works there who is actually a Russian agent.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do, even though the Russian agent is there to spy and collect government secrets, the Russian spy somehow really cares about this fish creature, right? And he tries everything he can to keep the U.S. from killing it, and also from the Russians from killing it.
Okay.
And so in essence, they have turned the kind of usual Soviet villain into the Soviet hero.
Oh, very odd.
Yeah, it's just again, for all the technical stuff, I would recommend, but just for the story and it's just too weird. It's just too weird. I couldn't recommend this movie for the story. For all the technical stuff, yes. So I would, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 5.
I see.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm torn because as much as the technical stuff that I appreciate, I was like, wow, this is a really beautifully done movie. But then the story is just like, it just doesn't sit right in my soul.
Yeah, like I said, it just like when I saw the trailers for it, I was like, it just looked so weird. Where I was like, it just didn't look like something I'd be very interested in.
Low-key, though, I thought this was gonna be the fish person from Hellboy.
Yeah,
I thought this was gonna be low-key his backstory.
Oh yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, so for yeah, for like the longest time, like throughout the whole movie, I was like, oh, please let it, be somehow related, like tie it back into Hellboy.
That might have made it like a lot better.
Yeah, because I was like waiting for it to be some kind of like origin story for Ape Sapien, but sadly no. Sadly no.
We can't always get what we want,
I know, right?
Andy.
I was hoping. I wasn't like, I wasn't demanding it, but I was hoping. I was hoping.
Yep. Well, it was definitely quite the week in film. Film awards. The Grindathon 4-hour Oscar awards, and overall, it was a pretty damn good week.
Yeah. It truly was.
Any big things coming up for you this week?
Not really. Like today's Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. So. Yeah, when you work as irregularly as I do, you kind of tend to not keep track of the days. But
been there, done that.
Yeah. Still working on a bunch of stuff for the podcast. I don't know. Maybe I can get an episode for Up by Up Down done by Thursday, or in time for the drop for Thursday. But don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. I don't promise anything. I'll try.
Yeah, I figured.
But I don't promise anything. What was that?
We do have episodes coming out. I was saying, like, I was thinking it was probably going to be like next week. So.
Yeah. I'll get it started. I'll get it started. I don't promise for this week. But
yeah. But for you guys out there, an extra long episode coming up.
Yes, indeed. That may be dropping this Thursday, or maybe not. I guess you'll just have to subscribe to us to find out. Press that little bell icon if you really want to find out.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Okay. We're coming up on an hour. I don't know. You feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
All right. Then
I'm ready to hit the old dusty trail.
Huh?
I was saying I'm ready to hit the old dusty trail.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that'll do it for us tonight. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little bell icon for notifications or for when we upload. Check out our library, our regular podcast with the rest of the fellas, and then also other Nocturnal Transmission episodes, and also Rob's show Up by Up Down that usually drops on Thursday, maybe this Thursday, but don't hold me to that. Don't forget to follow us on our social medias, Twitter at PodcastCOJ, and Instagram at Circle of Jerks Podcasts. Or Circle of Jerks Podcast. No plural. All right. I'll do it first for tonight. Don't forget to come back next week, and we'll see you then.